All right. The next element of art in charcoal, take your notes in pencil right now though, is shape and form. Shape is 2D. It only has two dimensions, a height and a width. It doesn't have the depth. You can only draw a shape. You cannot hold a shape. You can hold the paper it's drawn on, painted on, but you cannot actually hold that shape that's been drawn. A form, however, is 3D. It has height, width, and length. A form can be drawn, but it can also be held. It is the actual object. So, form can be held, and a shape can not be held. It can only be drawn. In art class, and in this one, we're going to learn how to draw some forms to make them look like they would be able to be picked up. So, we're going to do rectangular prisms to start with. A rectangular prism is a box. It's the tabletop. It's computers. It's carts. Lights above you. Those are a rectangular prism. Okay, so to make a rectangular prism, step number 1 is to draw a rectangle. And I need you to draw lightly in pencil. I'm going to draw darker so that you can see. So my first rectangle is going to be vertical. Leave room above and to the right of it, because you're going to see the top and the right for this one. Make sure you leave room above and to the right of it. So there's my rectangle I've drawn. Step 2 is to draw 3 diagonal lines. And it depends on which direction, what parts of the box you see as to which direction those diagonal lines go. Since we're going to see the top and the right side, we're going to start at the top corners, and it's going to go up and to the right. Top corner, up and to the right. Now these lines need to be about the same direction, about the same length. Now I said I'm going to see the top and the right side. So I've got my 2 top corners. Now I need my right corner. So I've got this right corner already. Now I need to get this right corner. So it goes up and to the right. And this one needs to be the same direction, about the same length as these two. Step 3 is to draw a vertical and a horizontal line. My vertical is going to connect these 2 corners, and my horizontal is going to go across the back up here on the top. So there's the basic form of my rectangular prism. However, I'm not done yet. Step 4 is to shade. So I'm going to go with my light coming from the above left. So I'm going to take my vine charcoal. The top is going to be my lightest, so I'm not going to start there. I want to start at the front left side here. So on this left side here, this is going to be kind of a medium. So I'm going to take my vine charcoal, and I'm going to fill that in a little bit. And I'm going to smear it because I don't want it to be too dark, because the light's coming from the left side. Now, what I have on my fingertip, I'm going to actually smear into the top, just to give it a little bit of value. And if you drew light enough, your lines should be disappearing into the shading. And then, for this right side, I'm going to use my charcoal pencil, because that's still going to be darker, but not super dark. And I just got a dark line in there that I'm going to have to try and blend out. So that means I've got to go back over it and layer, try and keep it even. Okay, so there's my lightest, my medium, my darker. And this is so small that I think I'm going to take a blending stump. Blending stump, I'm just going to smear that inside there a little bit. Kind of lightens it up and gets rid of that texture if I don't want the texture. Now blending stump gets dirty, so to clean it off, you use sandpaper. You want to keep the point to that piece, so you just kind of roll it across the sandpaper, kind of move it and roll it at the same time on that angle so you keep the tip. Just to get all that charcoal off of there, or if you're using any blending stump with anything, it'll clean this off with sandpaper. A blending stump is just paper wrapped up. Okay? Now, I'm going to make my shadow. So I'm going to go to my compressed for the shadow. And I'm going to zoom in for this so you can see this better. So I'm going to take it off of the back here. I'm going to go back there. I'm going to come underneath the front a little bit and come back this way. Now, the light's going to hit this diagonal right here. So I've got to match that to this diagonal over here. And then this is the shadow, so I fill it in pretty dark. If I need to layer to make it darker than that one side, then I do so. Make sure I bring it all the way to the top. And if I build up any charcoal dust, I just tap it off onto the newspaper. And there is my first rectangular prism. I'm going to go back to my pencil to draw my next rectangular prism. My next rectangular prism is going to be laying on its side instead of standing up, and so it's going to be wider than taller. And you're going to see the left side and the top this time. So down here, zoom back out there for you. Okay, so down here, I'm going to leave room for the left side and the top. So I'm going to draw a rectangle that looks like it's laying on its side. Remember to draw lightly. I'm going to switch to a darker pencil just so you can see that better. Okay. Then I said I'm going to see the left and the top. So this time my lines need to go up and to the left. So off the top, up and to the left, up and to the left. About the same direction, the same length. And then the left side, bottom corner, up and to the left. They all go the same direction and about the same length. Now I'm going to do my vertical line, which goes back that way, and my horizontal line, which goes that way. Okay. Now I'm ready to shape. For this one, I'm going to do hatching and cross-hatching lines. My light is still coming from the above left, so the top is still going to be my lightest. I'm just going to put a few lines on there. This left side will be the next lightest, so a few more lines. I like to go diagonal on this just because it looks a little more interesting than to go straight up and down. You can go straight up and down if you want. And the front will be even closer still, almost on top of each other. And then the shadow will come underneath here a little bit. It will come back here some. It's going to hit this angle here, so it's going to go across this way. And I'm going to do cross hatching for this, so it's going to get darker. And there's my second rectangular prism. We have two more to go. So go back to your pencil. Now this rectangular prism, we're only going to see the right side. We're going to see the front, and we're going to see the right side. We won't see the top or the bottom. So I'm going to draw a rectangle. And then I'm going to do the right side only. So off of this top right corner, the angle is going to go down and to the right some. And watch where you put your hand, because you can easily smear into what you've already done, like I just did. If you get a messy hand, have a little damp paper towel handy so you can just wipe it off. And from the bottom right, you go up and to the right. Now I'm going to do, so those are my diagonals. Now I'm going to do a vertical line so I can see the front and the right side. If I saw the front and the left side, I would just flip these around to go to the other side. Kind of narrowing as it goes back, because as things get farther away, they appear to look smaller. Okay, back to my charcoal. This one I'm going to erase. I'm going to use compress and erase. So the front one is going to be fairly light, because the light's coming still from the left. And then this side over here is going to be darker. Tap it off to the side. I'm going to use my eraser, and I'm just going to erase some of that in there to lighten it up a little bit. All I've done so far is kind of smear it, so I'm going to get a new spot on my kneaded eraser. I'm going to erase it and lighten it up some. I don't want to make it too light, because it is, the light's coming from the above left, but I don't want to make it real dark either. Okay, and then this right side over here, I'm going to lighten it just a little bit. Still has to be darker than the front, but I still have to be able to do my shadow too. Okay, there's my rectangular prism so far. I'm going to erase this little bit on the bottom here to get it more looking like the angle I want, and the top here. A little more straight lines. Okay, now I'm going to make my shadow. My shadow will come underneath down here. And it'll come back here on this corner, and it hits this angle up top here, so it's got to go back this way. And I'm going to fill that in with my compress. And I'm not going to do any erasing on that because I want it to be darker. There's the third one. We have one more to go, and I've got some fingerprints here that I'm going to try to erase. And then I'm going to wipe my fingers off so that I don't get fingerprints anywhere I don't want it to go. So back to my pencil. This one I'm going to see the front and the top. So I'm going to make it stand up. And the top is going to narrow as it goes back. So off the top left corner, I'm going to go up and to the right. And off the top right corner, I'm going to go up and to the left. And then a horizontal line. And this time I'll use, let's see. It doesn't really matter. We'll go with Vine to start with. And that'll go on the front. And this time I'm not going to smear it. My light's still coming from the above left, so this front is going to be darker than that top, so lighter on that top. I'm going to use an eraser to lighten that some because it went too dark. I just want a light value on the top there. Now, shadow. I'm going to use my charcoal pencil for the shadow. It's going to come down in front here. And then there's a back corner somewhere back there, and then it hits this edge right here. So it's going to go across this way. And I'm going to color that in. And there is